Hello, welcome to Bagbe TV. If you are new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. Biography of Joseph Kabila. Joseph Kabila is one of the youngest presidents Africa has ever had. At the age of 29, he was made to shoulder the responsibilities of a whole nation, Congo, after the sudden death of his father, Laurent Kabila, who was assassinated. Leading a country that was in crisis was not an easy task for the young Kabila, but he was able to remove foreign forces from the country. He worked hard, entering into alliances with his neighbors, and that helped put Congo on the right path. In 2006, he was sworn in as the democratic president of Congo. There have been controversies over the location of his birth and that of his twin sister, and also their years of birth. But the official report is that Joseph and Janet, his twin, were born on 4th of June 1971 at Hewabora, a small village in the Z territory of South Kivu province in the east of Congo. Joseph's mother was one of Kabila's 3 wives, Sifamanya. He started his formal education in a school organized by his father's rebel forces before going to Tanzania, where he continued his education and was taught how to speak English fluently as a young lad. He became fluent in Swahili but could hardly speak Lingala, the language of his country's capital. After secondary school, Joseph trained in Rwanda military for 3 years before going back to school in 1995 in Makerere University. In October 1996, while Joseph was still settling in school, his father had begun a campaign to remove Mobutu Sese Seko from power with his newly formed army, the Alliance of Democratic Force of the Liberation of Congo, Zaire. Lawrence told Joseph, his son, to join the army, which included child soldiers known as Kodogos, and Joseph was made commander of that unit. Laurent Kabila with his guerrilla group won. He became president and further strengthened his army. He then sent Joseph to China for more military trainings at the PLA National Defense University in Beijing, China. Upon return from China, his father made him Major General, and later in 1998, he was appointed Deputy Chief of Staff of Congo's Armed Forces. 2 years later, in year 2000, he was appointed Chief of Staff of the Land Forces. He held that position until his father's death in 2001. He became president after his father's assassination on January 26, 2001. Even though he was young, he ended the then civil war by mediating for peace with rebel forces backed by Rwanda and Uganda. In doing so, he signed a peace pact in 2002, known as the 2002 Agreement, signed at Sun City, South Africa. The signing of that agreement saw the end of Second Congo War. Joseph faced oppositions too. They tried to remove him from power. The most notable attempted coup was one led by Major Eric Lenge in June 11, 2004, but he was defeated by loyalist troops. In December 2005, there was a referendum that saw the birth of a new constitution, and it made provisions for a democratic system for presidential elections to be held on July 30, 2006. He contested under People's Party for Reconstruction and Democracy, PPRD. On August 20, results of the elections were announced, with Kabila winning 45% of total votes, while his opponent, the vice president and former rebel leader, 20%. There were complaints of irregularities, so a rerun was needed. The run took place on October 29, 2006, and results were announced on the 15th of November, with Kabila winning 58.05% and having been confirmed by the Supreme Court. He was inaugurated on December 6th as the newly elected president of Congo. Kabila ran for the second term as president and was elected in December 2001, but the election was said to be full of fraud, as there were claims that Etienne Tshisekedi had majority of the votes, and that led to crisis in some parts like Kinshasa, with Etienne claiming to swear himself in as president. In January 2015, things were already going out of hand, as Congo Parliament had arrived on conclusion that Kabila will remain in power until national consensus could be conducted, and that led to protests. On January 21st, about 42 lives were lost as a result of the clash between police and protesters. Kabila became unpopular not only because of the conflict in Congo, but also because he was accused of enriching himself and his family members with his sister, Janet Kabila, named in the Panama Papers in 2016. Throughout his rule, he succeeded in curbing rebel groups. Brassam passed, new ones came up in 2016, killing hundreds of people. 2016 wasn't a good year for Kabila. People were calling him to step down in protests all over the country for running more than 2 terms against the country's constitution. the US had to issue Kabila a warning, asking him to respect the country's constitution. On December 30, 2018, he chose Emmanuel Ramazani as his successor, and on January 10, 2019, Felix Tshisekedi was announced the winner of the election. He married Olive Lembe Disita on June 1, 2006, and they have a daughter named after his mother. Joseph Kabila, before becoming president, was a shy young man. Even the military couldn't change that part of him. What's your take on Joseph Kabila as a politician? Let's know in the comment section. Will it be ridiculous to subscribe to our channel? If no, please like this video, share and subscribe to our channel.